Hey guys, and welcome back to the IroncladLion channel. Continuing our 3-part series looking at each of the Season 7 units, in this video, we'll be talking all about the Berserkers. First, we'll look at their stats and unit details, Veterancy Lines, Doctrines, unit abilities, and finally, some battlefield examples. Like my other videos, I'll have all video segments listed below if you want to skip to any specific section. The Berserkers are one of the most unique units in Conqueror's Blade. Consisting of only 8 troops, Berserkers have the single smallest squad in the game, even smaller than Falconetti Gunners, who have 10. While limited in number, each Berserker has incredibly high stats, which make each individual Berserker the single strongest melee unit in the game. Weighing in at 4.5 stars, Berserkers truly feel like a unit just shy of legendary status. They are strong, cheap to supply, and are relatively easy to use. This has made Berserkers a very popular unit on the battlefield for many a player. Looking at Berserker attributes, we can see they have an absolutely massive health pool and great overall stats. Formation-wise, they have Dispersed and Line. Much like the Sons of Fenrir, however, formations won't matter once the Berserkers get into battle, as they thrive on the chaos of broken enemy formations. As for Berserker traits, they have a unique rage mechanic that powers their abilities, with Frenzy being their signature move, greatly boosting their attributes, but also making them uncontrollable. Battle Madness is a stacking buff, which boosts damage, damage resistance, and heals the Zerkers, which is a core element in Berserker survival. At 10 stacks, the Berserkers can enjoy a hearty 50% damage resistance buff. We'll talk about this a lot more later in the video. Finally, the Berserkers are one of the Northlander units, along with Sons of Fenrir and Shield Maidens. Berserkers have Odin's Charge, which is their gap closing ability. While the description says it knocks enemies down, this only applies to units, but it does build a good amount of rage. Berserker Assault, or the Spin to Win attack, is a great AoE ability. It is primarily used to build Battle Madness stacks, which it gives 4 of, every time you use it. And finally Frenzy, which restores a big chunk of health, gives a massive 50% damage increase both giving and receiving, and makes the Berserkers immune to crowd control. While extremely powerful, the Berserkers cannot be controlled while this ability is active. Timing this ability well is the key to Berserker success, and we'll cover this extensively in this video. Looking at the Veterancy Lines, we'll see the top path favors extended combat and survivability, featuring damage resistance, healing, and some nice enhancements to the unit. The bottom path favors burst damage and rage building, getting the Berserkers to max rage quickly and unleashing an extra powerful frenzy. We took the top Veterancy line, as I believe that keeping every Berserker alive should be your priority. Bloodbath prevents the Berserkers from being stunned while they're attacking, giving them priority in combat and making sure they're getting the hits they need to build rage. Soldier's Life boosts health by a total of 9%, which is massive on an already huge HP pool. Blood Mist makes Odin's Charge give a 10% damage resist buff for 10 seconds, which is crucial for keeping the Berserkers alive in larger fights. Move as one is almost essential as it gives a massive 15% move speed buff total. Breakthrough allows the Berserkers to hit an additional target in melee, which not only doubles their potential damage, but also their potential rage building. I'd say Breakthrough is the main reason you should take top line. While not essential, Greater Wrath heals the Berserkers by 2,000 for after Frenzy finishes, giving them even more sustained potential. This right here is an incredibly strong Veterancy line. As for the bottom line, we'll see Second Wind gives a 6-second cooldown reduction to Odin's Charge, giving the Berserkers more movement potential. Recklessness gives an additional 25% rage after hitting with Odin's Charge, and Frenzy increases Berserker Assault damage by 15%. Uncouthness increases Odin's Charge damage by 10%, and another level of Recklessness later gives even more rage to Odin's Charge. The final level is Bloodbath, which boosts Frenzy damage by 20%. While I see the intention of the bottom line very clearly being designed for burst damage and hit and run attacks, it's far more likely that the Berserkers will die in the process. The top line by comparison gives the Berserkers so much sustainability, it makes them walking tanks that can eat lower tier units. In the case of the Berserkers, This top line is 100% what you want to put your points into. Berserker doctrines can be pretty flexible, and don't need to be highly specialized. As part of the unit quest line, you get the Assault Doctrine, which reduces the Berserker's assault cooldown by 20%, and the Berserker's Doctrine, which increases health by 360 and reduces range damage taken by 50. Both of these purple doctrines are worth having, and you should equip both of them as soon as possible. Otherwise, you'll see I've got the Assassination Doctrine, which helps the Berserkers melt enemy heroes. I have this equipped as oftentimes your hero will be the one targeted when using Berserkers. This gives the Berserkers some extra bodyguard ability, so you can kill the enemy hero before they kill you. We'll go over this more later. I would also recommend equipping a Life Doctrine, as stacking more health on the Berserkers is never a bad idea. Because of their insane healing abilities, you'll get a lot of use out of extra health. As for the final Doctrine slot, you can equip a Defense Doctrine of your choice, or a Penetration Doctrine like I have. Penetration can help getting through more armored units, while Defense can make your Berserkers even more tanky. Both options are solid choices. I had trouble deciding which Defense Doctrine to pick, so I chose the Slashing Pen Doctrine for now. Now let's take our Berserkers out for some sun in the training yard. We can use dispersed formation when moving on open ground, and line formation once we get into combat. The first Berserker ability is Odin's Charge, which can only be used once in range of an enemy unit or hero. Once activated, the Berserkers will sprint towards the closest enemy, hit them with a powerful attack, and build a good amount of rage. This ability does not spend rage, but has a rather long cooldown. This should be used as an opening move and to close the gap to an enemy unit. Berserker Assault, or Spin to Win, is the Berserker's second ability, and has a number of special traits. Consuming a small amount of rage upon use, Spin to Win will send each Berserker spinning like an absolute mad lad into the nearest enemy. This attack can hit multiple targets, and also by default gives 4 stacks of Battle Madness. While not an extremely damaging ability, this is the fastest way for Berserkers to build up Battle Madness stacks. We can see the Berserkers healing naturally with Battle Madness in the bottom left corner of the screen. Berserker Assault is on a mere 5-second cooldown, meaning it can be used regularly throughout a fight to keep the Berserkers alive. One thing to note is that since the direction cannot be controlled, it's best to use this ability while the enemy is tightly clustered. Berserkers might be strong, but they are unfortunately rather dumb, and constantly need to be told what to do. To get the most out of them as a unit, make sure to press V and give the order to attack right after finishing a Spin to Win. This makes it so the Berserkers can get several hits in between spins, maximizing rage, damage, and gaining Battle Madness stacks. Alternating between V and Spin to Win is the bread and butter of your Berserker sandwich. Double tapping C will make the Berserkers run quite fast to your location, and since there are only 8 of them, they can all hold hands, so the chances of them getting lost are minimal. Let's try all of the abilities together. We'll Odin's Charge to get to the enemy unit quickly, then Spin to Win to build Battle Madness stacks. Once the spin cycle is complete, we'll activate Frenzy, and you'll see the Berserkers light up. Frenzy consumes the entire rage bar, and lasts for 5 seconds. During this 5 seconds, the Berserkers become uncontrollable, and will move to attack the closest enemy. While Frenzy is very powerful, it's best not to open with it during a fight. It's much better to build Battle Madness stacks first, and then activate Frenzy to lay on the real damage. As a reminder, each Battle Madness stack provides a damage buff, and a 5% damage reduction to all incoming damage. Battle Madness stacks up to 10 times, so the Berserkers can easily hit the 50% damage reduction buff by using Spin to Win. Exposing your Berserkers to 50% more damage taken can be deadly, and needs to be timed appropriately. Building Battle Madness stacks before using Frenzy will ensure the Berserkers aren't too vulnerable during the ability. Frenzy can also be used to turn the tide of any battle back in your favor by eliminating crowd control effects on the Berserkers and healing all of them a significant amount. Losing even a single Berserker is a huge hit to the unit's overall effectiveness, not just because there's only 8 of them, but also because the Berserkers build less rage for every unit lost. Because the Berserkers build rage on hits or kills, having half a unit means half the rage. Do everything you can to keep each Berserker alive, and they will keep spinning and winning. Speaking of rage, a little known fact about the Berserkers is that your hero can also build rage for them. To demonstrate this, we'll leave our Berserkers some distance away, and fight this unit ourselves. We only build rage when we kill an enemy unit or hero, but this can be a really great way to give your Berserkers an edge in combat, or to build rage while they're healing at a supply point. Finally, while the Berserkers thrive in a brawl, they are very vulnerable while retreating. They may have a chest built out of steel, but they have backs made out of jelly. Even a low tier archer or musket unit can take out a few of your Berserkers, which is a huge loss to your unit. Being thick boys, they make easy targets, so break line of sight as quickly as possible if you need to back up. That was a lot of information I just dumped on you, and I hope you're all still awake. Let's hit the front line. Berserkers love chaos and all-out brawls. The more you can break the enemy's formation, the better they will perform. In our first example, we get hit by an IPG walk while using Odin's Charge. Unfortunate, but not the end of the world. We'll bounce back with Frenzy as soon as it's available. Now notice the enemy formations, or lack thereof. This is a fight we want to take, as the enemy being so spread out is perfect for our Berserkers. Once our first Frenzy finishes, we'll get to spinning and winning to build up our damage resistance. Now in a much more comfortable spot, we'll activate our second Frenzy to heal and clear out a good portion of the enemy units. With only a few units remaining, we can safely spin to win right into the last pikeman. A couple heroes show up, so we'll activate our third Frenzy to give us the damage we need to finish them off. While we had a rough start to that fight and lost 2 of our Berserkers, we killed 40 enemy units and 3 heroes. Since we are all out of rage, we'll send our Berserkers back to supply to heal up before the next fight. A great thing about Frenzy is pushing the I don't care button when things don't seem to be going well. Here on Hidden City, I'm getting walked by Imperial Pike Guards, which knocks down my whole unit of Berserkers. By pushing the I don't care button, the boys are back on their feet, and rip right through the IPGs. Confident in their ability, I separate the hero from his unit, and make sure the Berserkers are spinning and winning. What's better than wiping a unit of IPGs head on without any losses? That's right, 2 of them. Dora would be so proud. We'll use Odin's Charge to get the Berserkers up to our position, and then activate Frenzy as soon as we see the walk start. These valuable 5 seconds are all we need to delete the enemy longsword and dismantle the unit. Frenzy is a powerful ability, but sometimes it can be best to hang on to it when it's not worth using. I've moved my Berserkers behind enemy lines to ambush some retreating units. Spotting a clump of juicy longbowmen, I give them a few smacks with my axe while the Berserkers catch up. An enemy shortsword tries to stop me, but with a well-timed dismount attack and Odin's Charge, I've quickly caught them in a bad situation. The archers are an easy kill, and we can finish off the enemy hero without using Frenzy. I get briefly spooked by the winged hussars I see, and activate Spin to Win to build up some Battle Madness stacks, just in case I get charged. Turns out we're fine, and the hero I killed was one with the hussars. The longsword feeling very lonely now, we can take care of him without busting Frenzy. Fast forward, and we catch another squad of longbows. Again, no need for Frenzy here. You are probably wondering how I got here. It's a long story, but it might have something to do with a Maul. So anyways, Maul carries me past his Fort Brachio pikeman unit, and tosses me into a pile of serfs and flamers. No biggie, right? I use Odin's Charge, Spin to Win, and then Frenzy while I roll back to my unit. Fully expecting things to go horribly, I hop on my horse. The serfs, also known as Berserker food, start coming out of the gate. Once I see this, I turn old Betsy around and hop back into the fight. Low tier units will actually heal the Berserkers more than they damage them, which is why I chose to go straight for the enemy hero, while the Berserkers enjoy a feast. I see the flamers through the gateway, but want to make sure every enemy unit is killed so that Odin's Charge does not redirect. Now clear for takeoff, we can use Odin's Charge right up to the enemy flamers. In this situation, I do use Frenzy to give them extra health, and make sure they can shake off the flame stun. With that, we have traded 3 Berserkers for 76 units and 2 heroes. So, Berserker food. What is it? Pretty much any unit that is 1 star or less is considered Berserker food, and will heal the Berserkers more than the damage they will deal. Outside Helyoung Fjord, we've got 2 heroes and a tasty squad of serfs, the tastiest of all Berserker proteins. These heroes actually would have been better off fighting me without the serfs, as they let me build rage quickly and disappear after I activate Frenzy. Now with max Battle Madness stacks, the heroes didn't stand a chance against the Berserkers, who remain at near full health. Walking back to the gate, we find an enemy Pike Militia and an enemy Short Sword hero. While the braced Pike Militia could be a problem, the Short Sword hero tells them to attack at will, breaking the formation. This was a mistake. I then see he's planning on knocking the Berserkers down, and so save my Frenzy until after. I get a nice spin to win in before activating Frenzy. This makes sure the Berserkers don't take too much damage and we don't suffer any losses. The Short Sword, now regretting his decision, lets us pass through the gate without any further trouble. Berserkers have a very different playstyle than most units. As long as you are yelling at them constantly, you really don't need to worry about their formation or positioning like other units. In this example, I do a quick walk around the enemy Halberd unit to hit them from the side, but after that, it's just a brawl. Now I could turn around and ignore the dual blade user, but instead I decide to go after him. Why would I do that? Well, I took a look at the enemy unit the Berserkers were fighting and determined that they'd do alright. Now pay attention, when I kill this dual blade, look at the rage bar in the bottom left. Killing a hero will give you about half a rage bar, and this allows me to bust a Frenzy, healing the Zerkers and finishing off the Men-at-Arms unit. We lost a single Zerker, but still overall a very nice trade. Berserkers excel in tight corridors and in breaking formations. Against this Fort Brachio Pikeman unit, we'll get the Zerkers in close and spin to win to build Battle Madness. After getting knocked back, we'll activate Frenzy to shrug off the staggers, and use these 5 seconds to get into melee range of the pikes. We don't need long to kill enough of the unit so we can squeeze past. This was a hard push, but Battle Madness stacks combined with Frenzy can push through even the toughest units. For this next example, are you watching closely? We're about to turn it up. Using everything we've learned so far, we're going to take on over 100 units by ourselves. Using Spin to Win several times, we'll make sure we hit 10 stacks before using our first Frenzy. We'll break the enemy Spear Sergeant formation to keep the enemy units scattered. Remember this, no formation, no problem. Keep using Spin to Win to keep stacks high, and build rage in larger groups. At this point in the fight, there is no backing out. We die if we take even 1 step back. We have to fight to survive with proper application of brutality. We don't lose a single Berserker. Do not falter, and when you smell fear, you know what to do. Here on Hidden City, our team is just finishing up the cap of A point. In this example, I want to highlight how Berserkers can not only deal damage, but also take it to protect your team. With a really solid group of units behind us, we'll give our Berserkers the green light to use Odin's Charge. This also signals to our team to follow behind us, creating a rather impressive scene to behold. Sizing up the enemy units and formations, I don't see anything we can't handle, and press the assault. Using well-timed spins and frenzies, we maintain pressure and absorb much of the damage that could be dealt to our team. They are many, but we will overcome. The enemy lacks any coordinated formation, so we shall press this advantage and give them no quarter. Our presence so great, the enemy trembles in fear. Berserkers, however, do have weaknesses, one of them being Frenzy itself. In this situation, we've got a friendly unit of IPGs and my Zerkers, against enemy Shield Maidens and another unit of Zerkers. We'll look at the fine differences in this engagement. The enemy Berserkers pop their Frenzy early without Battle Madness, while mine have been busy spinning and winning. This means their Berserkers will be taking 50% more damage than mine will. So when I hit my Frenzy at just the right time, we're going to tear both of those units apart. So Berserkers, as we've seen, love sustained combat, but hate burst damage. This makes muskets, javelins, cavalry charges, and siege equipment things to watch out for. On White Elk Fort, we're chasing down some retreating enemy units. This is all going well until I spot an enemy placing down a grape shot cannon. I try my best to rush past the enemy unit to take down the grape shot, but I was too slow, and the grape shot blasted away 2 of my valuable Berserkers. 1 shot and a quarter of the squad is gone. The same thing can happen with a green ballista, as a single bolt can take down 2 Berserkers. Watch out for these. Berserkers' small unit size can be a weakness, and also a strength. By having a smaller unit size, Berserkers are far more effective at climbing ladders than other units, as the whole unit reaches the top as a group, much faster. You can use this to surprise your opponents and make game-changing flanks. These two longswords tried to stop us, but Zerker's gonna Zerk, and the Pavis crossbows are as good as gone. Berserkers are a fantastic unit, and it makes sense why they are so popular. Despite being only 8 in a squad, they can often kill over 100 units in a single battle when used appropriately. Take care of them, and these chunky boys have no breaks. If you like this Berserker unit guide, give it a like, and subscribe to the channel to help me grow. These videos can take a long time to make, so I appreciate all the love and support you show on the channel. Comment down below and tell me what you think. I try to read and respond to as many comments as I can. I've been really happy that the community has been liking what I make, and look forward to making more videos. Next major release will be the Shield Maidens video, which I can't wait to show you guys. Take it easy out there, I'm IroncladLion, and I'll see you in the next video. Man, this video ended up being over 20 minutes long. It's crazy. Kinda like the people who say that Berserkers are overpowered. Those people are crazy. They're pretty alright. Just a little overpowered.